Sound features in poetry. Now, alliteration is the repetition of similar consonant sounds at the beginning of words close together in a line. For example, we can say Betty bought butter. Okay? Butter. In this case, there is the repetition of similar consonant sounds at the beginning of these words close together in a line. Okay? We can have another example like Peter got a pet. A pet. So in that case, P, the repetition of the P at the beginning of words close together in a line. We should not have more than two words between the words. Hi, assonance is the repetition of similar vowel sounds in words close together in a line, and they should be in the same position. For example, we have words like give. Okay, give. We can also say piteous. Piteous. So the I in give and the I in piteous are in consonance. That means they're repeated in the same position and the words are close together in a line. We could also have a word like take and make. In that case again, what is repeated is the diphthong A. Consonance, on the other hand, is the repetition of similar consonant sounds either at the end of words in a line or in the middle of words in a line. We could give an example of set and met. Okay. We could also have another example of, let me say, graph, and graph and rough. Okay. So in that case, we have the repetition of the F sound at the end of those two words. We can also have an example of consonants in the middle of words, like we could have a word like settle, and metal. Okay, so in that case, the T in the middle is repeated. Rhyming words, these are words which end in the same sound at the end of lines. For example, you could have an example of the same thing, consonants like graph, and rough. But remember, while consonants happens within a line, rhyming words happen at the end of lines, okay? Like in that case, we have graph, rough. We could also have an example of English, and then we can also have Irish, okay? In that case, the sh sound is repeated at the end of those words. Then we have the rhyme scheme. This is a pattern formed by rhyming words in a poem. That means we focus on the last word, the last sound in every last word in a line. Then we may have a rhyme scheme like a pattern of A, B, B, C, C, D, D. We call such a pattern regular. Regular because you can predict the next pattern. If you have A, B, B, C, C, D, D, then the next one should probably be E, E, F, F. Then we can also have another pattern like A, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, F, D, E, F. Again, this would be regular. But then a case whereby you have a pattern like A, B, 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 C, D, D, E, F, F, then this would be an irregular pattern because it would be very difficult to predict the next pattern. Now we have number 6. I've heard people say onomatopoeia, but the correct pronunciation is onomatopoeia. Now this is a case whereby the word imitates the sound, the name of the word. We have examples like splash. The sound made when water passes through a pool of water, it's a splash. We call that, the name given is splash, the sound that is produced. It's about imitation of sounds. Splash, we have sizzle. When you are frying mandazi, the sound produced is a sizzle. We have hiss, the sound produced by a snake while slithering. We call it a hissing sound. So that sound is called a hiss. The sound and the name are the same. Others could be blasts, okay, like in case of a bomb. We could also have other examples of an onomatopoeia, like slap. A good slap should sound like the word slap, okay? Although we don't advocate for violence, okay? Then moving on, we could also have others like swallow, you know, a word that imitates the sound produced. We could also have beep, like for a car. Then we have ideophones. Ideophones, again, these are sounds produced, but then, unlike onomatopoeic words, which are English words, ideophones are local sounds. We could have sounds like shh, especially when asking people to keep quiet. It's not an English word. We could also have something like grrr, you know, the sound produced by a phone that is ringing. Grrr, you know. Then we may have others like, I've heard gong, 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 like when someone is knocking on the door. So such sounds are not English. But what happens is, they're just local sounds which are meant to make a story or even a poem more interesting. So these are some of the common sound features we have in poetry, and learning them helps a student actually master not just the patterns, but also poetry answering ways, or a student is able to master ways to handle poetry in a way that is pleasing to the ear. Thank you so much and have a great afternoon.